Welcome back to Masks on Nyarlathotep, a Call of Cthulhu actual play adventure. This week we'll be digging a little deeper into the artefacts that we've collected, searching for those answers to the multitude of questions on this global conspiracy. Let's hand over to our Keeper of Secrets to get us underway.
Stanton lies in a hospital bed, still recovering from a near-fatal gunshot wound inflicted by the unhinged police officer during the intense raid on Juju House. The raid was just the beginning, as Jacob and Douglas later confronted Mdari, the ruthless African leader of the Bloody Tongue cult, in his squalid East Side apartment. In a fierce and deadly struggle, Jacob managed to gun down Mdari, putting an end to his malevolent reign over Harlem. However, the victory came at a terrible cost. Douglas suffered severe injuries from the vile and unnatural magic that Mdari summoned during the clash. The dark forces unleashed left both physical and psychological scars, with the horrors of that night continuing to haunt both Englishman and American alike. During the desperate escape, Jacob and Douglas secured two sinister relics: Africa's Dark Sects, a cult tome filled with unspeakable secrets, as well as a carved wooden African mask with 4 hideous faces. Later, in hospital, even a brief glimpse of the tome's content sent Jacob spiralling into nightmares. Tormented by the horrors it described, recognising the danger it posed, it was decided to keep the book away from Stanton while he recovered in hospital. During the hospital stay, journalist Rebecca Schosenberg visited and was persuaded to agree to collaborate with Lieutenant Poole in crafting a cover story from the grisly events at Juju House, ensuring that the more terrifying supernatural events were kept hidden from the public, protecting them from the full extent of what had transpired. Finally, Jacob, Douglas, Lex and Carlton Ramsey made their way to the financial district of Manhattan. There, in the towering offices of the Carlyle Corporation, they met with Erica Carlyle's lawyer, Bradley Gray. In a tense exchange, it was revealed that, before his tragic death, Jax and Elias had uncovered shocking evidence suggesting that Erica's brother, Roger, may still be alive. This revelation compelled Gray to agree to arrange a meeting with Erica Carlyle, setting the stage for the next chapter in the dark and dangerous journey. You're leaving the Carlyle Corporation, the office of Bradley Gray and the Carlyle Corporation. And can I ask you all to make a spot roll, please? Stanton, you're not currently here. You can probably guess. You're back in hospital at the moment. Okay, can you tell me what you got?
I failed.
Okay.
I failed.
Okay.
Hard success.
Hard success for Jacob. Thank you very much. The brass cage rattles shut behind you as you step out of the elevator onto the thick burgundy and gold patterned carpet of the Carlyle Corporation reception. You make your way quietly, deep in thought, through the reception, a study in understated elegance. Heading toward the revolving doors at the entrance, you button your overcoats in anticipation of the wintry streets of Manhattan that lie outside. Stepping out into the icy evening, you make your way down the slick marble steps to the sidewalk. Street lamps cast a soft amber glow over the glimmering frozen paving stones, whilst the city's usual noise is subdued. The sound of footsteps, distant car engines and the occasional horse and carriage are all muffled by the snow. Rows of cars are parked along both sides of the street, their roofs dusted with snow. People hurry by, wrapped in heavy coats and scarves, their breath forming clouds in the frigid air. The cold is sharp and biting, but as the weekend begins, the promise of warm speakeasies, illicit cocktail parties, and invite-only gatherings fill the crisp night with quiet anticipation. Okay, just bear with me 1 second. The sound of an approaching engine draws your attention. Through the swirling snow, a black Hudson Super 6 sedan comes into view, its headlights cutting through the darkness. Jacob, I'm just going to send you a message. Bear with me a second. Okay, the rest of you have all just got to the bottom of the steps, and you kind of turning just to chat to each other. So that's Bradley, Douglas, and Lex. Jacob, you're slightly ahead of the other three, and you reach the bottom of the steps first.
As soon as I see that, I turn round and shout to the others, "Get down! It's a gun!"
I dive to the floor.
Okay.
I follow those instructions.
Okay, without warning, gunfire erupts, the loud cracks of the weapon shattering the stillness of the night. Okay. So you're all just diving for cover, are you?
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Okay.
I shout from the car.
Right. Okay. So from a dex perspective. Okay. Can you make a dodge roll, Douglas, please?
Yes. 29. So that is
Okay.
a success.
Fine. Jacob.
It's in fact a hard success.
The hard success. Okay, Jacob.
Ordinary success.
Okay, Lex.
Oh, I have rolled exactly my score.
Okay.
A success.
That
By the
is
skin of my
success.
teeth.
Okay. Okay.
The Donald Trump.
Bradley Gray.
mm.
Okay, all of you dive onto the icy pavement using the cars that are parked in front of you as cover. You just roll those dice that are on there now.
That's Dave, isn't it?
It's still doing that thing where it shows different dice to what the actual number is.
Oh, that.
That's
okay.
me. 17.
Oh, don't like
Don't
that
like
one.
that one. I like that one.
Okay, now that's a penalty dice roll.
Okay, good.
Okay, the 3 bullets that are fired from the car, one of them smacks into the bonnet into the hood of a car that's right next to Jacob. One of them skitters across the pavement and hits the wall of the Carlisle Company building behind. The other one smacks into the road, just short of you. I presume you're still lying behind the.
Yeah, I'm not going to return fire. I'm just hiding. Is that car still going past, or is it slowed down?
The car. It slowed down right next to you. The shots were released, and you now hear it speed off.
Can I see a number plate? A license plate, rather.
You hear it skid on the icy roads. It tries to, and then as it begins to speed off up the road. Can you make a spot roll? See if you can get the number plate. It's dark and it's snowing a little bit, so it's pretty difficult to see.
No, it's too hard to see.
I want to attempt the same.
Okay. Yeah, it's the wheels spin momentarily on the icy surface, but then it gains some traction. Literally, it speeds off into the darkness. As I said, the snow and the darkness has made it impossible to see the number plate. All is quiet. You hear some screams from across the road. A couple of other civilians, as it were, walking past, and quite quickly, a crowd of maybe half a dozen people come over to you and start to gather around outside You see the security guard from the Carlisle Corporation coming towards the door as well. What are you going to do?
Or wait,
Bradley?
you should make a police report.
Gray just gets up and says, "Let's get back inside."
Yeah, that makes sense.
Get inside and wait for the police.
Okay, you go back inside the Carlisle Corporation building. The security guard said, "What the hell was going on? What was that?"
I have absolutely no idea. Did you get a license plate?
I didn't even see what sort of car it was.
No, we didn't get anything. By the time we got out there, you guys had already got up. Were they shooting at you?
I don't know, unless someone's got a grudge against your building.
Both the security guards kind of standing around by the door, not really sure what to do.
Well, we should. I'm assuming
one of them's we need to call the police.
Yeah, well, absolutely. We can make statements. Not there's a lot to be said.
Okay. When one of the security guards is satisfied that there's no immediate threat outside, he disperses the remainder of the public that are hanging around outside, and then makes his way to the nearest police precinct, which isn't far at all in this area of Manhattan. And presently, a police officer arrives at the Carlisle Corporation, takes a statement from you. Is there any? Yeah, I just asked, is there any reason why you would be a target?
No, not that we're aware of. I'm just going to be completely neutral. We had a business meeting. We came out. There was gunfire. We don't know if it was directly targeted at us. They drove off. Didn't come back.
What sort of car were they driving? Did you get you didn't get the reg plate?
No plate. You say it was a Super 6?
A Hudson Super 6?
Yeah, a black Super 6.
Was too busy dodging bullets.
We haven't got a huge amount to go on, but
not really. At least it wasn't automatic fire, so pistol.
It looked like a Colt 45 when I first saw it. It was a big pistol.
You're right, 45. So they've got a description of the car. I need to get that description out for every beat cop and precinct in the area.
Was it the driver who was firing, or was there a passenger? Could you tell?
Yeah, Jacob saw that it was a passenger.
Okay.
You didn't get any. You didn't get a look of him though. Look at him. Too far away.
Right-handed, one would assume.
Fixated.
Oh, very important bit.
So let me get this. Let me get this straight then. So you had just finished a business meeting here. You were heading away from the building when a car pulled up. 3 shots were fired. A Hudson Super 6 pulled up, black, and the window was wound down, and the passenger fired 3 shots at you with a 45 auto, and then the car sped off.
Well, the assumption is that they were firing at us. Yes.
And you have no, you've got no reason to. Well, there's no reason why anybody would want to be doing that. Why you would be a target.
Not that I can think of. No.
You've got no idea who this could be.
No. I mean, everyone is unpopular with someone, but nothing that would warrant such extreme action. Wouldn't even know who would be capable of doing something like that. Could be a case of mistaken identity.
Okay, I get you. And that's all you know.
Afraid so.
Yep.
For that.
If anything comes to mind, definitely be in touch.
Well, he gives you his cards. So yeah, it's around the corner from here. But yeah, if anything else comes to mind, then we'll do everything we can. But without much of a description, it's going to be difficult.
No, we'll keep an eye out.
You just watch your backs.
Yeah.
Okay. The policeman gives you the car. Gives you his card. Then he says, "If that's all, then gentlemen, I'll bid you good night."
All right. Thanks for your prompt response.
Okay. Heads out, leaving. There are 4 of you alone in the. Well, apart from a couple of doormen, alone in the foyer. Carlton says, "This is to do with the cult, isn't it? That was no accident."
No, somebody wants us to stop investigating. Only thing that concerns me is that I saw Alfred Kinnery watching as we came in, so he knew we were in the building.
He sent them here.
And he sent them here. Or he came back with a colleague. But at least we know what he looks like, so we should know that we're being watched.
Why do you tell the police that?
Because they won't find him. And if they ask too much about why he might be interested in us, it's going to raise questions that we're going to find it very difficult to answer.
Well, we can make something up. I mean, if you've got a description, you know what he looks like.
We have our own police contacts. I think we'll be better off taking it directly to him rather than letting someone from another precinct deal with it. He's familiar with what we're working on. He will give us a more sympathetic and more discreet hearing.
Well, just make sure you stay alive long enough to do it. That's what I say.
We plan to.
If it's all just as well with you, gentlemen, I think I may leave separately.
I suggest you maintain a healthy distance from us for the time being. We'll be in touch. You know how to get in contact with us as well.
No, I don't actually. I was going to say that. How do I get in contact with you? Because every time I try to get in contact with you, you're never there. So how do I get in contact with you? Bradley Gray is going to come back to me with the confirmation of the appointment with Erica, with Miss Carlyle. I'll need to be able to get hold of you, but I would also counsel you to lay low for a bit. It seems that your profile is probably too high.
Well, shall we say that we will phone your office tomorrow midday, and then again at 5?
Yeah. That seems a better way of doing it rather than me chasing you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, have a safe journey home.
Yeah, and you too. You watch your backs, as that officer said. We know these people are dangerous, but I didn't realise quite how dangerous.
Well, I think we need to perhaps go and make sure that nobody's played Stanton a visit.
Okay, he leaves, leaving you 3 to decide what to do next.
Doesn't tell us anything we don't already know, other than we are on the right track.
Kinnery's shown his hand in the sense of being involved in the cult.
Yeah, I mean, it's too much of a coincidence to suggest that he just happened to be watching us and then this happens, so he's obviously directly involved. But that helps us because we know what he looks like. We should be much more mindful of how we travel. Does everybody think that Stanton's safe? Should we go and check up on him?
I think we should.
I think we should. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if it
Yeah.
was just targeting you and it's not cult related, then he's safe. But if it's cult related, he's definitely not safe.
Well, he's had plenty of time over the years to hunt me down. The fact that he's turned up now, given what we're looking at, suggests that I'm not the only lucky one to have attracted his attention. But, well, we will see. Let's go and see Stanton and then find somewhere safe to hole up for the night.
Okay. How are you getting from Manhattan back up to Morningside?
Cab.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you hail a cab and you make the journey from almost the southern tip of Manhattan all the way back up to St. Luke Hospital, Morningside. It passes uneventfully. You get out of the cab at the other end and make your way into the hospital. Once you arrive, head back to the ward where you know Stanton to be recuperating. You are met by a doctor who tells you that he's very pleased with Stanton's progress and that he will be free to leave. Stanton, you've been told by the doctors that you were very lucky. The bullet just flicked a kidney, and it could have been a lot. If you'd have been an inch either way, an inch one way, it could have been a lot worse.
Very lucky indeed.
But yeah, you're feeling a lot better. The stay in hospital has helped the pain. You still have pain medication, but yeah, it's looking a lot better for Stanton.
Excellent. From a mechanics point of view, does that affect hit points?
No, not at this stage. No, it's a little bit. It's a bit slower than that.
Right, and so I still have a major wound.
Is the doctor content to discharge Stanton straight away rather than waiting until morning?
Yeah, he's happy. It's happy if he's got somewhere safe and warm to go tonight. It's happy for him to leave.
Well, we'll tell Stanton what happened. And do you want to stay here another night, Stanton, or would you rather leave?
It's tricky on that one. I suppose
You're coming with us then?
Yeah, might not be difficult to find if I stay here. So yes, up and out. I'll gingerly throw my legs out the side of the bed and push myself up.
Okay.
Grab my clothes and I'll be back in a jiffy and go off to change.
Okay.
Where are we going to hole up?
Well, we'll just go find a hotel somewhere, I'm guessing. We could find a suite. We've got the money for it. It's somewhere where we could all stay together.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We're not going to be there for any great length.
No, perhaps somewhere relatively close to the hospital so Stanton doesn't have to travel too far.
What's the time now?
It's about coming up to 7 o'clock on a Friday evening.
Well, let's go and see what we can find then. Don't even have an overnight bag, and I have to go back to my current hotel to get some clothes, but not tonight. We can do that tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to go and find a.
Go and find a hotel close to where the hospital currently is.
Yeah, something relatively well-to-do with. I'm thinking good open foyer, good security, doorman, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So keep an eye out to see if we're being watched as we leave here.
Yeah, that's I think pretty much a given. The assumption is we're always watching.
Yes, at all times. We'll be.
You didn't. The book wasn't left with you, by the way. So I'm assuming. What's the situation with all the relics that you got? Where are they? Because one in particular, the clock is quite heavy. So are you carrying it around in your backpack at the moment, Lex?
Yeah, that's been our normal answer. Is this the chronograph you said? The modern
that's
chronograph?
right. Yeah.
Quite heavy.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't had a chance to go home yet. So
okay, so they're still all in your rucksack at the moment.
Yeah.
We should maybe put some. Maybe we should put them in a bank.
Like get a safe deposit box.
Yeah, it's going to be safer than anywhere that we could hide it. Okay, they may figure out that it's in a bank, but they're not going to be able to manage a bank robbery in order to reacquire it, because that would cause way too much attention.
Yeah.
We'll have to sort that out tomorrow. I don't think we'll find a bank open now.
No.
And surely not every bank manager is part
Haven't
of
really had
this
a chance
conspiracy.
to look at them much yet.
No, well, let's go and find a hotel, get that suite, examine it over the weekend, form our thoughts, and then deposit what we don't immediately need and keep hold of the rest.
Okay. Okay. Just a couple of blocks away from Columbia University is on the edges of Morningside Park is a hotel called the Morningside, which is it's not real top end, but it's it's nice, and it has suites, so
Excellent. That'll
it
do.
would seem to fit the bill. Okay, so you head across from the hospital. It's not far. It's actually not. It's only about 2 blocks away from your apartment,
Okay.
Stanton. But obviously it's the fair way. Yeah. Okay. So you check yourself into a suite where you can all stay in the same room. So yeah, by kind of 8 p.m. on the Friday night, you're all safely ensconced in the Morningside,
Mm.
looking out across the Morningside Park at all the snow-covered trees.
Right. First order of business, room service.
Yes.
And then we need to discuss a plan of action.
Okay, you order down for room service.
And a bottle of something strong.
Strong.
Where we can't, I know. We need to go and find somebody in reception who's willing to go and give us something.
Order down for some illicit alcohol.
Yes.
Can you send me some illegal stuff, please?
Wow, I'm sure the concierge
Exactly so.
would assist for a fee.
We're not that rich.
And this
We're
is a
not
respectable
breaking
establishment.
Yeah, we're not breaking the law, Rich.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, you'll wait for your food to arrive. Feel free to plan away.
We haven't really examined these artifacts in any real detail yet, have we?
No, not really.
Barely had a chance to do anything other than recuperate.
And run and get injured.
Okay. You want to have a look at the artifacts, do you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dig them out, Lex, and let's have a nose to see what we're dealing with.
Can you just, Jacob? I don't know, because Stanton was kind of awake for a period after you had the issue with the book, so he won't be aware of that at the moment.
Oh yeah, Stanton. When I studied the book, it was disturbing to say the least. But that night, I had the most horrendous dreams, dreaming about occult, hideous, violent dreams. I couldn't shake it. I couldn't leave it. And as a result of that, we didn't think it was terribly wise for you to be studying the book, particularly in your weakened condition. It's a matter for you whether you really want to once you're a bit stronger, but even just studying it for a few hours took its toll on me.
Gosh, that sounds dreadful. Yes, I can see why you kept it from me. Leaves us in a bit of a pickle, doesn't it? We need the information that's in the book, but not at the cost of our sanity. So did it have a similar effect as the first mask has had on? Well, it sounds worse than that, actually.
It was more dreams rather than waking visions.
Do you think there's a way that we could read the book, steal ourselves beforehand? I guess we really don't know, do we? We've got no idea what we're dealing with here.
I think I've become more vulnerable since we started this. Perhaps I'm not as strong. Perhaps someone who's a bit stronger may fare better than me, but I ought to warn people.
I guess faint heart never won fair maiden, and if we don't study the book, then we won't get any knowledge. We need.
You're not suggesting that you tackle it, Stanton?
Maybe not tonight. Maybe a day or two's additional rest. So I'm fighting fit. Still quite tired, as you can imagine. But at some stage, I think we do have to study it.
Someone has to read it.
As with the other item.
Okay. The items that you've got in Lex's rucksack, you take them out one by one. The first one is the carved wooden African mask, which is actually the most disturbing out of all of the items that you've got to look at. I just sent you a picture on Discord of it. So it's carved wooden mask with 4 hideous faces perched atop a thick, corded neck, with a basket-like reed, feather, and fabric collar. So if you can see the picture, the bottom part of the mask is like it actually goes over the head, and it has like that you wouldn't be able to see with it on because obviously that covers your face. Do you see that?
Yeah.
And then the 4 hideous, monstrous images are actually kind of sitting atop your head almost.
Is that a goat?
It looks quite goat-like, yeah.
Yeah, with quite serious horns, and it looks like the one facing has got just a single horn in the center.
Or
Yeah.
2 horns on the side, 3 horns.
And then the other one looks like a bubbling mass.
Correct.
Is that with an eye in the middle?
Yeah, there's an eye in the centre of it.
Oh,
And the other-
goat. 4 eyes.
And what about, yeah, so what's the one on the far side?
One on the side that you can't see.
Yeah.
Bear with me a sec.
Or maybe the goat thing is an antelope, those horns.
I don't know. Antelope doesn't strike me as a particularly sinister creature. Mind you, that being said, goats aren't particularly sinister either, but
Yes.
they are associated with Satan.
Is there anything inside the helmet in terms of
The sleeve part? No, there's nothing in there. No, unless you want to put your head in it.
Someone's going to have to wear it, aren't they?
Why
No.
have to?
Well, it's obviously important. So it's either purely symbolic and is used in a ritual, or it has some qualities to it. Now we know that the other mask that we encountered had a quality to it that allowed us to see the pyramid. This might provide us with some insight. I know it's totally different, but I'm just suggesting that there may be value in, well, either it does something which is important, or it's purely ceremonial and it's not worth wearing anyway, and it's not going to hurt anybody. So we either find out nothing, no harm, no foul, or we find something useful and somebody potentially dies from it.
Well, it's completely impractical as a helmet, as one can't see a damn thing.
No,
through
so
it.
I mean, it's
It does
yeah.
make me put me in mind of the mask in terms of visions.
That would be my guess. But last time when I tried the mask on, it didn't work for me.
Just to cut across you, sorry about that. The 4th visage on that mask is simply a bearded human face.
The most sinister of all creatures, man
With beard.
with bearded man. Yeah.
Yep. So that's that.
Someone needs to try it on.
Okay. Can you all make a percentile roll, please? Actually, can you make a botany roll, please? I can't imagine any of you have got massive botany skills.
What's in there?
Not even on the list.
It's under science, so you might not have it. What about natural world?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, natural world. I'm amazing at that.
Fail.
So I have succeeded my natural world roll.
Oh, awesome.
You haven't, have you? That's
I
impressive.
absolutely have.
Okay.
No, not me.
I will say I rolled a 7. So
Okay. So the feathers that adorn the mask are similar they're similar in origin to the ones that adorn the robe that you have as well. So flamingo, kingfisher feathers. So East African birds, but you're pretty sure that the wood, it's not a wood that you've ever seen on Earth. It's not a wood that you've ever. You just have a feeling that there's something really, really odd about the material. You're not even sure that it is wood. It looks like wood, and it kind of even when you touch it, it feels like wood, but it's almost got like a spongy, sticky.
So you got us with on Earth. So the robe. I mean, we're essentially saying that the headdress and the robe are part of a single outfit. Then this is
they're a pair.
Jacob, can I get you to roll a percentile, please? Tell me what you get.
62.
Okay, thank you.
So this is probably what Nkame would wear as part of the ritual, whatever it was they were doing down in the cellar.
We feel fairly confident that he is the top man.
Well, he's the only one that so far has managed to wither us with spells, which suggests to me that he's the most powerful. It wasn't something that names escape me. The shopkeeper.
Kwame.
Sorry, I said Kwame. Sorry, I meant.
Mm.
Okay, I
Yeah,
got my names mixed up. I meant yes.
the
Sorry,
headman, yeah.
yeah, not Kwame. Sorry, it's been too long. Let me go back to my notes.
Yeah, there's just something
And
really.
diary, sorry. Yeah.
The longer you look at it, and the more you look at it, the more unnerving this thing is. It just feels completely unwholesome and just really just horrible.
Maybe shouldn't wear this until we read the book to know what this is.
Yeah, that sounds really sensible. In as much as any of this is sensible.
If it's
Well-
involved in any of the ceremonies, then it's bound to be described somewhere in the book, isn't it?
In the book, so all paths lead to the book.
Yeah. Okay. So the other items, then you just want me to recap what those items were.
Okay, we've got the
The
You've
robe,
got that.
feathered
You've got the
robe.
robe, which is a long feathered shawl of shimmering colour. So that's the one that has the
yeah
flamingo and kingfisher feathers.
lion's claws fixed to gloves.
Yeah, I mean they are literally exactly what they say. They're actually kind of even though they're ceremonial, they're probably double as weapons as well.
Are they clean? Do they look like they've been used?
Um,
I'm wondering if they've been used to sacrifice. When they've
yeah, with you they look clean, but with your keen eye, Douglas, you see that under the nails there is some hint of kind of blood residue, the dried blood.
So if we're taking wild guesses, part of the ceremonial outfit, and they ritually kill using these gloves, and then they put the blood in the burnished copper bowl with the runes and signs.
Yeah, and the runes and signs for that burnished copper bowl, they're still as unrecognisable to any of you as they were when you first came across it. I mean, between you all, you've obviously got two of you are experts, and you've obviously got Stanton, who's seen all sorts of runes and symbols and signs in his career, but none of the three of you. I think Lex probably less likely would be exposed to runes and signs in his.
Yeah. I'm not surprised that I can't understand it. That's fair.
But between you three, you think that you at least would have seen them before, but they're completely unrecognisable.
Are they similar though to the ones that were on the walls in the cellar?
Yeah, that's a good observation. They are. I mean, they are. There's no repeat of the symbol that you saw on Larkin's chest, which was repeated in the cellar. But other than that, you're exactly right. Yeah, some of the other ones they give you the same sort of impression as those.
Is there anything? Is the bowl completely clean, or is there any sort of remnants of what may have been in it? Bloodstain.
Mike, can you make a percentile roll for me again, Jacob, please?
It's unusually heavy and strong.
98.
Okay.
I think it's made from.
It looks like it's made. The bowl looks, even though it looks like it's made of copper. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't. It's not as light as copper.
Meteorite metal.
Something like that. That might be right. You don't think you're pretty certain that it isn't copper. I mean, you're pretty certain between all the four of you that it's not copper, even though it looks like it.
Well, I could always take it to a university science department and get it tested, but that would draw attention. Right. So maybe the bowl is used for, again, the ceremonial purposes, and blood gets put in it. What about the carved scepter?
Yeah, so that's made of a spongy wood.
Same as the mask.
No, this is. Do you think this is a? Hold on a sec. Yeah, you and Jacob have come across this before. This is wood that you've seen from maybe trees in Africa or Australia, the Adansonia genus. So it is wood that you've seen, especially in Madagascar. They seem to use it quite a lot there. So you feel like this is more normal, if that's the right word.
Yeah.
This looks more like some of the items that were seen for sale in Juju House. That kind of
right.
But again,
it has those the runes and the hieroglyphics are of unknown origin as well.
Yeah. Stanton, you recognise, now that you're looking at it closer, you recognise that the the runes are actually Egyptian hieroglyphics.
Mm.
You're pretty familiar with those, so
Oh, okay, that's interesting. So it's a combination of the two, or is it all just hieroglyphics, or the rune?
no, they are all hieroglyphics.
Oh, okay, all right, my notes.
And sorry, that was the wooden carved scepter, was it?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
wooden carved scepter. The wood is of. You're pretty sure the wood is of African origin. So obviously not rather. You're looking like somewhere like Madagascar. And then and you've got the Egyptian runes, the Egyptian hieroglyphics on it. They're quite faded, which made them difficult to discern initially. But they are definitely Egyptian hieroglyphics.
Well, I could certainly make a start there. Something that I'm much more familiar with may give us pointers for the rest.
That would be a good starting point, absolutely. And then we've got a headband of grey metal.
Okay.
That had some etched pictograph characters. That might be something you could have a look
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
Mm.
The really odd thing about this one is that it's actually warm, the metal. When you pick it up, it's actually got a kind of like real curious warmth to it. Not hot, but it definitely exudes a warmth. None of you are particularly skilled in this department, are you?
Well, I'm quite good at appraising artistic works and that sort of thing.
Like rings. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I could have a crack at that as well, actually. Yeah, see if it's a precious metal or something.
I have an engineering background, but I don't think I'd know that much about
No,
metallurgy.
okay.
Well, if we need to, we could draw upon the experts of the Columbia University.
Yeah, but then they might ask questions, mightn't they?
Yeah. Although on the antique side, we could say something that a colleague friend came across.
Okay. If you put your heads together, Jacob, Douglas, you think if you're going to hazard a guess, you'd say it looks like titanium. But there's something about it that makes you think that it's not. You don't know why, but it's maybe it's slightly darker than titanium, but obviously the warmth doesn't kind of ring true with that either. But that's what you'd guess if you had to guess what the metal was. Yeah, and the characters are.
Yeah, do you recognise the pictographs, Stanton, at all?
Well, I'll take a click.
Anybody who's got a cult, can you make an occult roll, please?
Oh,
Okay. Oh, just nicked it. Success.
Okay, is that a standard success or what type of
standard success?
Okay, yeah.
No, fail.
I failed.
Okay. Danton, you recognise the characters only as being, I don't even know how to pronounce this, cuneiform?
Cuneiform.
Cuneiform, a logosyllabic writing system that was used to write several languages of the ancient Near East. It was in active use from the early Bronze Age.
Yeah, one of the oldest, or if not the oldest form of writing that we know about.
That's as much as you can tell at the moment.
Well, I could make notes of these and then see what the university library can help me with.
Can I tell whether it's old or newly made?
Yeah.
In terms of sort of looking at the patina on it, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, I guess your point is the writing's from the Bronze Age, but is what it's written on.
It's a good shout.
Yeah, so if it's modern material, by modern I mean the last 1,000 years. It's curious that people use such an old language.
Yeah, Jacob, you're pretty certain that that the material does look fairly modern is the way that you probably explain it. It doesn't really look like an ancient material or metal at all. So it's exactly as Stanton just voiced it. It's an ancient language on something that's been inscribed upon something fairly recently.
Unusual combination.
This is the headband, is it?
Yeah.
And maybe the reason they're using this old language is because the spells and magics were written in that language. And it's the only way they know to transfer it to this headband, to imbibe it with special powers.
The last object that you have is the marine chronometer, which seems to be an absolutely... Lex, you've obviously seen quite a lot of marine chronometers in your time, but this one is absolutely like top of the range. It looks to be cutting edge technology. Absolutely, kind of marvel at the craftsmanship of it.
Why would they need that?
And it shows. I think I mentioned to you before that it shows time 4 hours ahead.
Well, I initially suggested that it was in order for them to identify the time that they needed to do their ceremony. But does it need to be that precise? Why not just use a regular watch?
Yeah.
I mean, if it was that precise, if you think back to ancient times when we're assuming that these rituals were originally carried out, they wouldn't know to that exact time. So there has to be some other reason for this.
Does it look like
It's
it's
got
ever been in?
Sorry, say again.
Does it look as if it's ever actually been installed on a ship in terms of the?
No, it doesn't look like it's ever been installed on a ship. There
The
are no
figure.
scratches or anything on it, and there's no kind of signature or maker's mark on it either, which you would normally see on these type of things.
Yeah, I was going to ask if there was a serial number so we could actually find out who
Yeah,
purchased
there
it.
isn't. There isn't anything like that at all.
So it's completely. It's a perfect chronometer that looks like it's just been built by a totally anonymous person rather than purchased.
Yeah, who's probably the most skilled chronomist, if that's the word, that you've ever seen.
Do you think do they really need to know their location precisely, longitude, latitude?
Yeah, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Accuracy is key for some.
But why is it here? I mean, what? I mean, if they were going to be doing something like that, well, maybe they used it to find that pit. I don't know. Did they create the pit, or was it already there?
Is it to make sure that something? Because we worked out that 4 hours fast is likely to be London time. To ensure that something happens this side of the Atlantic and in London at precisely the same time.
Made for someone in London for a specific purpose, but then transported over here for another reason. But they didn't reset the time. Are these things that they like clocks where you could easily reset time, or are they always, once they're made, that's the time they're set at and it can never be changed?
I don't think we're gonna. I think it will become obvious when it's obvious. I mean, I don't think we're going to get anything useful out of guessing.
I still wonder whether it's to make sure that something happens in two locations at or two time zones at precisely the same time.
Yeah, may well be. May well be.
Is there a?
That goes back to my previous comment, though, that does it have to be that exact? What's wrong with a watch? Because I can tell you now by looking at my watch, by deducting a set number of hours, what the time is in Britain, what the time would be in Australia. I mean, does it have to be so precise?
Clearly it does, but why is the?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, unless it's not for that, if it's not for timekeeping in two locations, if it is for navigational purposes to find out where you are in the world, which is what Lex is suggesting.
Yeah, so it
doesn't seem as if it's been used for that purpose. It's never been installed on a ship. I don't know.
And also,
maybe maybe they got it and then they just haven't had a chance to use it yet.
Also, it's in a basement in the Bronx. It's very difficult to measure celestial bodies from there.
Unwanted Christmas present.
Could it be one of the set? Maybe several were made at the same time, or distribution around the world. So this global conspiracy, they all complete a ceremony at exactly.
Yeah.
So one could be at the Penhue Foundation, one in Singapore.
Well, we'll know when we find another one, won't we? As it stands at the moment, I mean, it might have been, I don't know, and Kwame's retirement present. We just don't know. So I don't think there's much point in us wasting our time with guesswork and supposition. We have.
Yeah, it's just conjecture, isn't it?
Yeah, we have other more useful things to be investigating, such as deciphering the hieroglyphics. I think would be our most obvious, fruitful journey.
Okay, so it's this headband. I think what I'll do, these pictographs, as I said, they're cuneiform. So I'm going to copy all the writing as best I can, and then take my notes into the library to research further.
Okay.
I think we agreed we don't really want to be carting these artifacts around.
Do you want to take a rubbing of them instead, Stanton?
Yes.
They'll be much more accurate that way.
Yeah, I'll just trace them.
Okay, so let's have
that with the lantern that we've got either.
So what I'm doing, what I'm taking from this then is that you've had a look at all of the items, and you feel like you can't make any further progress tonight with them. Is that right?
Pretty much. I mean, our next step is for Stanton to try and translate what he can.
Okay, but is that going to be a job for tomorrow?
I think
I
so.
think
I
yes,
think
yeah.
we've had. I want to rest up. I am
Yeah.
feeling particularly poorly. I
Mhm.
don't particularly like being shot at, so I think I'd like to get an early night. We should probably move some furniture in front of the door.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we'll need to wait for room service first, unless that's
I'd
Yeah,
assume
sorry,
room services. I
the room
assume
that
that's
service-
been
been
and
gone,
gone.
is it?
room service has been and gone a long time ago. Yeah,
Okay,
you,
and trays are outside the door.
yeah.
And we've got the do not disturb.
Yeah.
And then we move a wardrobe and a chair, and
Okay.
nobody sit or sleep within view of the door in case somebody decides to shoot through it.
And the windows.
Well, the only one thing we need to, we'll
Mhm.
keep all the curtains shut, and put something in front of the window that's got the fire escape on it.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a bear trap.
I was thinking Stanton.
Okay. The night passes uneventfully, much to your relief. And as the grey light makes its way through the curtains in the morning, Saturday has dawned without any further ado.
Mm-hmm.
Do you wish to breakfast down it, or you're going to have it in your room?
I'm going to move all the furniture back.
Yeah.
Order room service.
Okay. So the plans for today then are.
We've got a
Uh,
phone in at 12, haven't we? And 5.
Yeah.
You could do that from here.
Mm.
Not
Okay.
sure we've
Anything
got
else?
anything else.
So yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure we can get into the library on a Saturday. Students have to study over the weekends.
Yeah, you can do that.
So just have to be careful as I'm leaving the hotel here that I'm not spotted. Hopefully no one knows that we are here.
No, don't go out the front entrance.
Mm.
I need to get to my hotel to go and get some toiletries and clothing and such like.
Okay.
Do the change
So
of clothes.
So you're going to go to your hotel. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll go. If myself and who else needs to go to their abodes?
I do. So I think perhaps we ought
Okay,
to,
so
Mm.
go together.
go
So let's go
into
go in twos.
So you two are going to go to the Times Square Hotel and then to the east side to Jacob's apartment. Yeah. Meanwhile, Stanton and Lex are going to the university. Is that right?
Yes, and maybe on the way back I wouldn't mind stopping off at my apartment because I'll need to change my clothes.
Okay.
I mean,
Make
obviously
sure
I've been in bed
when
for a while,
we
but-
when you've got all your bits and bobs and what have you, that you take a very roundabout route back here to make sure
Yes.
you're not being followed. We'll do the
Yeah.
same.
I may even take a couple of
Yeah,
cabs.
cabs can be followed.
Well, they're sort of downtown and then back up again.
Should we
Okay.
meet at the library?
Well, yes, I'm likely to be there all day. What time should we meet back here if we get separated, get delayed?
Well, it's only going to take us the morning to go and get our things. We'll meet you. How about we meet you at lunchtime? We'll make the phone call. We'll meet you for lunch by the university. We'll make the phone call from the university, and then we'll all spend the afternoon in the library.
Okay. I'm
Let's
still
speed
not
things
going
up
to
a
use
bit.
the front entrance. The
We're
library.
going to
I'll
have
just use one
we're
of the
going to have
side
to
entrances.
carry all the gear. We'll carry all our artifacts with us, though, aren't we? So we might need a. I'll go. I'll bring a larger bag. Well,
Okay. So you're going to meet at the university.
yeah, for lunch.
Okay.
So myself and Jacob are going to go to our respective abodes and collect things, and then we'll meet them there at
Yeah.
lunchtime.
That's cool.
And who's Lex keeping all the artifacts?
Yeah, I'll carry them in my backpack when I'll stick with Stanton.
Okay. They do, Stanton, just for information, I don't know whether it's of any interest to you, but they do have a strong room at the university where they keep the more
Valuable artifacts.
yes.
Yes. And well, and within the library, they have probably quite a few of the rare manuscripts that are not even in the reference. Yeah, well, we could use that certainly for the day.
That's up to you. I just sort of mention it.
And because I'm thinking, yes, if we're looking to put these items into a bank vault, then we'd have to wait until Monday anyway.
Well, let's hold on to them and then put them in the bank vault on Monday. I don't know. I mean, it may have a strong room, but it's not going to be as strong as a bank, is it?
Lex, as a Lex.
Oh no! Yeah.
For the Lex, yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking the safest place that we can store them until Monday.
On us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're heading out.
Yes.
So Jacob and Douglas, you're heading out into the streets of New York, across.
Okay, I'm on full surveillance mode.
Yeah, me too. I'm jumpy.
Yeah, understood. Okay, you head back out into the hustle and bustle of the city. You step outside into the street. It's Saturday, so it's busy. How are you getting from here to your hotel? Taxi? There are a load of cabs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You whistle a cab, and it takes you the relatively short journey to Times Square, where the Times Square Hotel is situated. Okay. The concierge at the hotel, when you go in, says that there's some mail for you. Hands it to you across the desk.
Interesting. Thank you. I'll take it and make my way upstairs.
Okay. Okay, so one looks like a telegram. One is just a card. So one of them is a card from Rebecca Schosenberg saying "Call me" on the
Okay.
back. You have a feeling that might be a
A
little
little bit out of date.
Yeah, yeah. The telegram is also dated 2 days ago, so that might be out of date as well. And in fact, you can see that it's been sent from the telegram office directly opposite the street of Ramsey and Partners. So you have a guess that might be potentially from Colton Ramsey. He said that he'd sent you a telegram.
Yeah.
Trying to get hold of you. But the third item is a letter which is handwritten, and it simply says, "To the occupant, room 309, Times Square Hotel."
Oh, okay. I shall open it as we're on our way up.
Okay. Inside is a piece of paper. You pull out the piece of. I presume you pull out the piece of paper.
Yep.
You open it up, and you see the same symbol that's carved into the forehead of Jackson Elias, drawn in red ink on the paper.
Does it look like red ink? I say, does it look like red ink and it's not red ink, or does it look like blood?
Yeah, it's blood.
Excellent. I'll hand it to Jacob. What do you make of that?
A warning, a threat.
Well, it suggests to me that I should probably. Well, actually, no, I won't check out because they know I'm here. If I'm not coming back, I can just leave it, and they might think that I'll return at some point. I'll gather my things, and I'll just keep this room going for a while. However,
Is there anything on the envelope to, the hotel didn't mark it to say when it was left or anything, did they?
No.
Be interesting to know when this was left.
Yeah, well, we can ask on the way back down. What concerns me is if that was left, did they leave anything more untoward actually in the room? Although if they were going to do that, why forewarn me by leaving that? In fact, why leave that at all? It just seems like it's a warning. But it's nothing that we didn't know already. I found the being shot at slightly more concerning.
More direct approach.
Yeah, I'll pocket it and continue to head upstairs.
You head up to your room. Yep.
Yep.
You put the key in the lock and swing the door in.
Very carefully, just in case there's anybody in there. Make sure that I'm stepping back from the door when I open it.
Okay.
So I gingerly go in, on the assumption that there's somebody waiting in there with a gun.
Okay, you both kind of stand outside for a second, listening to see whether you can hear anything from beyond the door, but you don't.
Okay.
You don't hear anything.
Proceed in then, carefully.
Okay.
Got my gun out.
Have you got your gun out as well, Jacob?
Yeah, I'm jumpy today.
Okay. You go inside your room, kind of holding your breath as you walk in through the door, looking around. Everything just seems to be exactly as you remember it.
Okay, I'll quickly pack up my stuff and depart.
When you say your stuff, you're taking all of your stuff?
I'm taking everything. I'm not coming back.
Right, okay. But you're not checking out yet?
No. I pretty much only have enough that I can move in a case anyway. Everything else when I gave up my apartment is in storage.
Okay. You clear the room of everything. And then you head back down down the stairs to the foyer of the hotel.
Yeah, I'll ask the concierge or receptionist or whoever's on duty whether they knew when this card had been left.
The concierge tells you that it was dropped off yesterday morning by a messenger boy.
Right. Do you know where the messenger boy?
Hadn't seen him before, but
Right.
that's not unusual.
No, fair. That's fair. Very well. Thank you very much. I'll be back soon. Thank you. I'll leave.
She just nods and smiles. Head back outside, yeah?
Yeah, head to
Well,
yours.
that's interesting. So that post-dates the Juju house raid. It's Kinnery again.
I would say not Kinnery, because why would he have addressed it to the occupant? Why not use my name? He knows who I am.
You said Kinnery was a civil servant. Is he the type to take direct action, such as the attempt to kill us, or is he more likely to engage
I
help?
had more of the impression of engaging help. I didn't really know him. I don't know what he's capable of. But no, I mean, he's obviously part of a wider group.
That's what worries me.
Well, I mean, we know there's at least two out there because there was there was a driver and there was a gunman, wasn't there, last night? So there's at least two. We should move.
Yeah, let's take a cab to my.
Shows that nowhere's safe. I think we can assume that your apartment may well have a similar message.
Yes. Let's see. I'll hail a cab.
Okay, you hail a cab, and presently you find yourself stepping outside front of your apartment, paying the cab driver, and then crossing the sidewalk towards your front door. Okay, so you're going to head in. So you live in an apartment, so you got obviously the front door to the apartment entrance, and then you a first floor apartment.
Yes, I think it was. Yeah.
Okay.
That ground floor in English.
Ground floor.
No,
yeah.
sorry, no.
You're first English floor, weren't you?
Yeah, so second floor American. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You head up the stairs towards your apartment. You get to the apartment, and the first thing that you see is right in the center of the door is the same symbol that was on the paper has been painted on your door. This time it's not in blood; it's in white paint.
Is it dry? Is it not still
it's
wet?
dry. Yeah.
I'll go into the apartment very carefully with my gun out.
Okay. You're up there as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm doing exactly the same as before,
Yeah,
just
okay.
covering each other.
Okay, you find some mail as well. You have a telegram very similar to the one that Blake already looked at. It's an obsolete telegram from Ramsey asking you to call him. But there's also another piece of mail which is a lot more interesting. When the keeper says that, that's not good.
You literally see the quotation marks around interesting.
Gutter cleaners operating in your area.
Okay, it's a letter. It's quite a big. It's like an A4 brown envelope, and it has January the 20th postmark, and it's been posted from Arkham, Massachusetts.
Not the transcript, is it?
It might be. Do you want to open it?
I do.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. You open it up, and you see, a bundle of papers with some photos, and then a covering letter.
I'll read it. Yeah.
Okay, the letter says, Jacob, good to speak to you on the phone. Sorry to hear about Elias. A real bugger that. I hope the cops catch the rat bags behind it. Here's a summary of my lecture together with some photos of the slides. Sorry about the quality. Hope they're of interest to you. Professor Cowles.
Okay. Well, I'll have a read of that later, perhaps when we get back to it.
Yeah, okay. You're going to gather all your stuff together?
Grab the gear, let's get out of here.
Yeah, toiletries and sort of a few days' clothes.
Should have said a few days ammunition.
I don't think I could carry that much. Yeah. The way we're going through it.
Right, so once you've done that, you're just going to head back to where? Back to the university.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
We need to make the call at 12.
Yeah, that's fine. You'll be fine. You'll be well ahead of time. So, as far as the university goes, so Stanton, you're obviously researching. So, Lex, what are you doing whilst Stanton's doing the research? Were you helping or what?
Yeah, I'll help.
Okay.
You've got to help because you're basically
Yep.
savant. When I was doing research, I couldn't find anything. And you just pulled it off the shelf.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You mean this ship here?
Yeah.
I'll sit around for 3 hours.
That's a nice colour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I'll sit around for 3 hours, and then I'll get the book out for him.
Yeah,
Oh, this book, the one that I've been reading the whole time.
Yeah.
feet
Yeah.
on the desk. That's it. For
Okay,
all
so
the research assistants we like.
what are you researching first?
I'll start with what I know, and then the hieroglyphics.
The hieroglyphics.
Hieroglyphics on the carved scepter.
Okay. So yeah, that's fine. And you're okay. So can you both make library use rolls then, please?
Yeah. Okay, success.
Okay.
I've failed this time.
Boo.
Average success.
Just a standard success.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right.
We don't get them.
Yeah, using the various texts that you have access to and a good couple of hours worth of research, you managed to deduce that the runes on the scepter say the hieroglyphics on the scepter say Nyambi, thy power mine. Nyambi is Nyambe. You further managed to decipher the fact that, if you didn't know this already, that Nyambi is the supreme god, skyfather, and god of the sun across numerous traditional Bantu religions.
So was that Nyambi, the phrase?
Thy power mine. Nyambi, thy power mine. And Nyambi is basically a traditional African god.
East Africa, West Africa, Southern Africa. I'm going to have to go to a different section.
No, you didn't ask the right one. You didn't say southeast.
Madagascar.
So playing Hunt the Wampus. Was that a sky god, was it?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, so they're like all part of
Mhm.
So
the sun god, I think.
And which artifact was this?
The scepter.
So sort of like Sai Skun god.
Yeah, West Central Africa, where the Bantu tribe originate from, and around kind of Nigeria, Cameroon, that sort of area. So it's quite an obscure pantheon of deities. Well, you hadn't heard of the name Nyambi.
So other than, it's strange, isn't it? Having that written in Egyptian hieroglyphic.
Yeah, don't forget the woods of African origin, though.
Yeah.
You'd already remarked on the fact that it is a curious combination of, like I said, West African and North Egyptian.
But maybe the Egyptian hieroglyphic, so the wood itself, could have got Jacob to look at this. Because if the wood dates from the time of the ancient Egyptians, then that's basically the writing that was available to the people in order to write on the scepter. Maybe they didn't have quite the written language over in West Africa at the time.
Okay, so that's all you can
There was an
discover.
Egyptian visiting.
But
That's what you can discover about the scepter. Okay. As far as the headband goes, do you want to make a roll for that? And again, Lex, you can help with that.
And I think if I get really stuck, I might have to speak to the librarian. But in this case, it's a hard success.
Oh, nice.
I have not helped.
I know some of these books are quite heavy.
Yeah, that's right. You've done a really good job of getting the high books down off the shelves, carrying them across the table,
Yeah.
and then putting them back again.
It takes time. Have to put them back in the right place as well. Otherwise, we get very annoyed. Just leave them there on the side, please. By putting the cutlery in the wrong place.
Okay, Stanton, it takes you again a good hour, just over an hour or so, just to kind of get to the origins of these pictograph type images. And you kind of every book that Lex gets down for you and trudges across the library, slams it on the table. You look through it, and it's just like it feels like a thankless task. You're not getting anywhere at all until just the last tome that the last book that you reference. You're just about to give up when you find reference to the ancient language of Atlantis called Senzar in the occult section, and some of the pictures that it shows are almost identical to the ones that you can see on the band.
Okay, sorry, could you spell that?
Senzar, Senzar, the lost language of Atlantis.
Wow. It's very
problem,
strange.
unfortunately, though, you don't, as you can probably imagine, there's not a lot of books on that particular subject, so you can't you've only managed to find the origin of the the characters rather than actually being able to decipher them.
Well, that's good news, right? Because now we have something to go on. So I need to continue research, perhaps other universities, and find out what they have on this particular language. So further research to understand what's.
But that takes you to just before midday when Jacob and Douglas turn up to meet you.
Right. Short break for lunch, Lex. Let's meet up with the others.
Okay.
Yep.
You all meet up. It's just before. Well, it's about 11:45 when you meet up.
Well,
We should
Nice
make the
little
call
place
before
across
we
the
have
road.
lunch.
yeah, make the call.
What are you going to make the call to Carlson?
Carlton's offices, yeah.
Okay. You ring through to Carlton Rams's office. You're put through by his secretary. Well, at least you're alive. That's a start.
One day at a time, Carlton.
I haven't heard anything yet.
Okay.
It may be a little bit too early for me to chase, but call back later.
Okay, will do. We're going to have an easy day, I think, today, and try and stay out of danger. You too, Carlton.
Yeah, with it being weekend, I'm not sure whether he'll come back to me or not. It depends on how struck Miss Carlyle is with your story.
Well,
Let's hope for all of our sakes that she's very struck.
so do I. Well, Grace seemed particularly interested in the prospect of her brother still being alive. It seemed to really light up at that prospect. So,
Yeah, well, that's good. That's got to be the angle that we take if you can get in front of her. And I think showing her the notes that Elias put together, that's got to be the thing that's going to. If that doesn't strike a chord, then I don't know what will. Anyhow, give me a call back later.
will do. Thanks, Carlton. Speak to you later.
Yeah, stay safe.
You too.
Okay.
So, gentlemen, what have you learned? I have learned that our apartments are being watched, and I'll put my little calling card on the table.
What? Let's have a look. Or did you bring it?
I did. It's here. It's the same symbol that we saw on Larkin's chest. This one looks like it's been drawn in blood, and there was one painted on Jacob's door. I would put money on the fact that there would be similar on your apartments, homes as well, so they know where we are or where we were.
Yeah.
We weren't doing a very good job at covering our tracks, it has to be said. I think we're going to have to be a lot more careful. I was less concerned when we were just being watched. More concerned now that they've decided that they want to do something about us.
Perhaps we should have a policy of moving every couple of days and sticking to hotels. I mean, the longer we're in one place, the more likely it is that they'll establish where we are.
Exactly so. Exactly so. So if there's anything that you think you need to get from your apartments, I suggest that do it fairly soon, because I don't think you'll be able to go back there in the near future. Anyway, I hope you had slightly better news than us. What did you discover?
Well, that's pretty successful, actually. So the scepter rooms are indeed Egyptian hieroglyphics, and there is a writing on it. Nyambi, thy power mine. Now, Nyambi is a sort of sun god or father of Bantu religions from West Central Africa. Pretty curious, of course, that they use Egyptian writing for an African god. We could certainly have a look later, and Jacob, definitely like your eye to cast over the maybe the age of this wood, see if it is modern or ancient. And then, perhaps more interesting, the headband, cuneiform language that we found is called Sensar, which is the lost language of Atlantis. Couldn't tell what it took me, as Lex will attest. It took me many hours just to get to that point, but at least I now have a hook, something to where I can dig further.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You say the lost language of Atlantis, but Atlantis, as far as we know, was never lost. It never existed.
Yeah, exactly. Did it exist? Did it not exist? Was it just a city somewhere, an island in the Mediterranean?
So this is notionally whatever this Atlantis is. But this is
well.
But we feel that this headband is more recent, though, do we not?
Yeah. So someone using that who is familiar with that language, and it's all quite intriguing.
Excellent. So we're thinking that maybe this is a headband from the legendary city of Atlantis, which is still in existence because it's still manufacturing headbands.
Not necessarily so. Someone who is familiar with the language of Atlantis, however that may be.
Right.
So Atlantis may exist, may be real, and they're making these
Well,
headbands now, or someone who has somehow unearthed that language, perhaps from a tome we have or another, and use that language to write upon the headband.
These artifacts are such a bizarre combination of ancient,
know.
modern, African,
Yes.
Egyptian. There's no consistency there.
It's quite the melange, isn't it? Culture.
At this stage, given what we've seen, I know if you'd have asked me a few years ago, I would have said that that's a headband made by some hobbyist in a back street to be sold as a trinket. Now I'm more inclined to suggest that it's come directly from a legendary city that truly does exist and is probably risen out of an ocean somewhere in order to herald the end of the world. So let's not easily dismiss anything. Sometimes this may actually be genuinely from Atlantis.
And the chronometer
Tells
is
you how to get there. If it's in the sea, going back to what Lex was saying, it's used for navigating. Maybe somebody is using or is planning to use that to reach Atlantis. If we're going full on crazy.
Well, I mean,
Glad you said it, Douglas. That's what I was thinking.
Well, who would have thought 20 years ago that the Valley of the Kings, the tombs in ancient Egypt would contain such treasures as we found recently?
No, indeed, but we had an indication that there was something there by the really big pyramids nearby. I don't think there's been any real evidence of Atlantis. There is other than what we have in our hands.
Whereabouts are you having this conversation? I presume like in the diner across the street.
In a diner, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Keeping our voices down to the extent that we don't want to completely freak out the waitress.
You notice that your appearance seems to have already done that. There's a couple of the clientele that are sitting fairly close to you. You can see them like looking over at you, like the concerned faces.
Well, to be honest, perhaps we should have used the diner just down the road where the philosophy department frequent.
No, I think I'm more concerned about the fact that we all look like we've they literally had the life force drained from us.
Well, it's mainly you that look quite
cadaverous.
Yeah. Yeah.
If anybody gives me too long a look, let me know.
Okay. How define too long?
Well, if they're being unnaturally interested, I mean, like a passing look in the way that you might look at somebody who's ill.
Yeah.
And then look
kind
away.
of pity and kind of horror.
Yeah, pity and look away. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's anything more than that,
well, that's the same sort of thing. That's the same sort of thing that you witnessed from the concierge at the hotel. It's that kind of trying to be polite and not
don't
staring.
stare.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. What's next?
Well, after we finished our lunch, is there any more research you think you can conduct in the library in the university? What about you, Jacob? Is there anything that you think you might be able to learn?
I want to read Professor Cowell's lecture.
Oh, of course,
summary,
yes.
But I might start with that.
Okay.
Wouldn't mind spending maybe another hour or so seeing if I can get a few more pointers for authors of texts about this lost language. Not expecting to find a dictionary, but maybe some pointers where I could research further.
Well, shall we return to the library then? I've got nowhere I need to be.
Yes, I hope to not take too long, and if the search is fruitless, then so be it.
Oh, shall we all go shall we all return to the library then? Jacob can read transcripts. You can do your research, and we can see if we can assist in any way.
And Also, Jacob, if you could have a look at the scepter as well, see if it's the same combination of new material, old writing.
Yes. Yeah. I'll see if I can date it at least. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you already had a look at that before, actually, and you weren't really sure because, yeah, you couldn't really place that.
Oh, yes. You were looking at the wood, sort of recognize the wood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Okay, you're heading back to the university. Going to spend the rest of the afternoon researching in there again, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. I've sent you the notes to look at, Jacob, on Discord.
Yeah. Got that.
Okay. Okay. So you're just looking up. You're just trying to find more about the ancient language of Atlantis.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Make a library use roll, then, please. Anybody who's helping.
Yeah, so normal success for Stanton there.
Okay.
Fail.
Yeah, same with me.
Okay. Okay. You spend a frustrating few hours in Saturday afternoon, pouring through numerous sections of the of fables and the occult section, and you never really get any further. Trying to find a book that actually has the language of Atlantis in it seems to be impossible. Even though there is an occult section here, you feel like you may need to go somewhere that actually has a more
Larger.
esoteric bent towards its collection.
Yes. So at the very least, I'll try to take some names out of the book where I did get some success when I learnt what the language was,
Okay.
and maybe
Yeah.
those authors, singular or plural.
Okay. Well, you can keep those, for future reference. If you remind me of that when you find somewhere else you can do the research. So yeah, that's a bit unfortunately that's all of that your research garners in that particular area. And then the clock kind of ticks around, and it's approaching time for approaching closing time actually on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to need to make another phone call, aren't we?
Yeah. Before we do that, do you want me to give you a summary of Professor Cow's lecture?
Oh, yes, please.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's going to take us anywhere, but he talks about a bat cult existing amongst the Aboriginal peoples of Australia. It was known across the continent. The god of the cult was known as the father of all bats. Adherents to making human sacrifices to their god that they themselves would become worthy enough that the father of all bats would appear to them. Once he was enticed to appear, the god would conquer all men. Sacrifices were run through a gauntlet of worshippers who struck the victims with clubs embedded with the sharp teeth of bats. The teeth were coated with a fast-acting poison somehow derived from fermented bat droppings. The victims apparently went mad before they died. Leaders of the cult reputedly could take the forms of bat-winged snakes, enabling them to steal sacrifices from across the land. Cows believed that this cult became dormant or extinct hundreds of years ago, and its former existence is why he became interested in Jackson's books about present-day cults. He also refers to an Aboriginal song cycle which mentions a place where enormous beings gathered somewhere to the west of Australia, or in the west of Australia. The songs say that the gods were not at all like men, and that they built great sleeping walls and dug great caves. That living winds blew down the gods and overthrew them, destroying their camp. And when this happened, the way was open for the father of all bats, who came into the land and grew strong. There are also a set of overexposed glass slides, each showing a few sweating men standing beside enormous blocks of stone that are pitted and eroded, but clearly dressed stone and formed for architectural purposes. There are dim carvings decorating some. There are billows of sand everywhere. Although he didn't bring the book with him, Cowles says that he discovered that the discoverer was one Arthur McWhirr of Port Hedland, Australia, who kept a diary in which he recorded several attacks on the party by Aboriginals. McWhirr reportedly recorded deaths to victims from hundreds of small punctures, reminiscent of the earlier bat cult. And finally, Cowles tells of a tale he collected from near the Arafura Sea in northern Australia. In it, Sandbat, or father of all bats, had a battle of wits with Rainbow Snake, the aboriginal deification of water and the patron of life. Rainbow Snake succeeded in tricking and trapping Sandbat and his clan in the depths of a watery place from which Sandbat can only complain and is unable to return to trouble the people. Not sure how any of that could possibly help, but
Only to the extent that if there are interconnected cults in the various continents, that could be a manifestation that is connected to what we're looking at, and at some point we may need to investigate that further. But you're right, as it stands, that doesn't sound of immediate relevance. Worrying and interesting, but not immediately useful.
I wonder whether there's a theme to some of these cults in terms of sacrificing being a way to appease or bring the gods down to Earth.
Well, it sounds like, yeah, you're human sacrifice in order to empower the god, much like we saw in Peru. If you think about the sacrifices that were placed in, seemed to increase the power of what was ever in the temple, whatever was in the temple.
Well, yes, there's been human sacrifice all over the world in religion. But in this case, these gods are quite different from what you'd have in religions we see these days.
Fair point. Christianity's a bit light on human sacrifice.
Okay, what next? People,
Well-
the library's beginning to thin out now as people
Yeah,
start to head away for the light outside is fading.
I do need to collect a few things from my apartment. So,
Well, should we all travel back to yours and then go back to the hotel?
yes, and obviously have a look before we enter to see if anyone's watching it. And then I'll see what delightful
in.
message has been left for me there.
Check in with Carlton again. I suspect we probably
Oh,
won't
yes.
hear anything, but we did promise.
You're going to go and bring Carlton then, are you?
Certainly, you can use the phone in one of our offices.
Okay. Jacob, you're going to go and call
Oh.
him?
Phone his office, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, head into the office that Stanton shows you into.
Put the call into his office.
Okay, yeah. Bear with me a sec. Hello, Ramsey and Ramsey.
Good afternoon. Is Carlton available, please?
Who's calling, please?
Jacob Lockhart. He should be excellent.
I'll just see if he's in his office. Bear with me.
Thank you.
Jacob, Carlton.
Good afternoon. Just checking in after, I'm pleased to say, a thoroughly uneventful afternoon. How are things with you?
Yeah, pretty similar. Yeah, good news. I've heard back, and we're all go for the meeting with Erica.
Wonderful.
Next, yeah, it's good news, isn't it? Thursday at 3 p.m.
And where?
That's the only downside. She wants it to be at her Westchester estate.
Okay.
Not too far. It's a bit of a drive, but maybe the way things are, you could do it leaving the city for a bit.
It may be helpful. Yeah. So Thursday, 3 p.m. at the Westchester estate.
Yeah, you'll need to give me the reg plate for the car that you're going with. She's quite hot on security, and you need to collect a telegram that Bradley Gray is going to send me to confirm the meeting. You need to take that with you as well.
Will you be accompanying us, Carlton?
I'd love to, but I've just got too much on, I'm afraid.
All right. Oh, Carlton, thank you so much for organising this for us. It may give us some really useful leads.
Yeah, that's well. Just don't mess it up, and good luck.
All right. Well, shall we call into your office during the week to collect the telegram?
Yeah. Call him Monday. It should be here by then.
Well, thanks again, Carlton. And
Yeah, no worries.
I wish
Enjoy
you
the rest of your weekend. Stay safe.
too. Thank you.
Okay, the line goes dead.
Gentlemen, we have an audience with Erica Carlisle Thursday, 3 p.m. at her Westchester estate. It sounds like she's rather keen on security. We need to give the license plate or number of our vehicle and take a telegram with us, which we need to pick up at Carlton's office on Monday.
Interesting. Well, it suggests that we hire a vehicle, provide that number plate, don't use that vehicle until Thursday. So I'm going to be driving around in something that we've given anybody the number plate of. Might be overly cautious on my part, but
think it's quite difficult to be overly cautious when you've just been shot at in the middle of the street.
Yeah, that is fair. Fair point. And we should be doubly careful as well when we go and collect the telegram. These are all places where people know that we're going to be at a given time. But anyway, that aside, that is fantastic news. We need to spend some time working out exactly what it is we're going to say to her and what evidence we're going to provide in a way that we don't scare her off, because we are going to come across sounding like complete crazies if we're not careful.
Especially as the evidence we have is Jackson's notes, which one had doubts for his sanity reading some of it.
Well, yeah, it's just the earlier ones, and then you say, I mean, we can say that his descent is, I don't know, down to a medical condition or something, maybe malaria. But yeah, well, these are all things that we need to discuss, isn't it? How honest we are.
Okay, so it's Saturday, and you've got until Thursday when the meeting has been arranged for. Okay, so aside from the arranging for the collection of the telegram and the car, you also got Lex and Stanton need to collect their gear from their respective abodes. Is there anything else? We want to kind of go into, without bringing it down into game terms, we want to go into a bit of scan time here.
Yeah.
Because you've got a few days to kind of recuperate and lay low until. Because I don't think you've got anything else from a lead perspective that you need to follow up at this stage.
Not really. Spend time in other libraries and trying to find. Yeah, there isn't any specialist. We're unlikely to find anything that we would have found, couldn't have found than the university library. So
we just need to have a strategy going into the meeting with Erica Carlisle as to what we're going to share and how we're going to try and engage her help, and I suppose what we want to try and gain from that meeting. I wonder whether we need to study Jackson's notes before we have that discussion.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're hoping to find from her to provide us with more detail on what she discovered when she was investigating her brother's supposed death. So we get that from her. But are we looking for her to provide us with additional assistance to go to Africa, Egypt, via London to investigate this further? Do we need her as a active sponsor? Is this what we're hoping for?
I'm sure it could help. Obviously, not just in the region of funds, but contacts in different cities.
Yeah. No, I think it would be very useful to have her as a rich heiress. If we get in diplomatic trouble, she would be more likely to be able to assist than Lieutenant Poole, for example.
Thinking back from Jackson's telegram to us, which started this, it referred to him having information about the Carlisle expedition. What information did we find about the Carlisle expedition in his notes referring to?
Oh, you mean specifically other than the fact that they didn't think that they weren't dead?
It's just that we're going to need to share information with Erica Carlisle if we've got any hope of her sharing information with us. We've got to give her something.
We're going to have to go back and reread those notes. I'm just looking at it now. I mean, it's been a long time since I looked at them. So taking some specific notes that we are going to lead with.
You've been given. If you look, there is actually you got a big bundle of notes. The summary of those notes are on the front of the Roll20 screen.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
Yeah.
So that would probably be the best place to work through. Just highlight some of the key points from that.
Okay, so in the intervening days, then, just so I got this straight, you're gonna sort your story out.
Yep.
You're gonna get the car sorted.
Yeah.
You're going to get the telegram, whether you get him to post it or whether you go and get it, however that works. Yeah. So Lex, you need to go back to your house, I presume.
Yes, please.
And Stanton the same.
Yes, please.
And what's the situation in terms of where you're staying? So are you going to, because it's now Saturday and
I'd stay here. I mean, nobody knows
Yeah.
we're here. We haven't, as far as we know, we haven't been followed.
No, you don't think you have, and it feels like it's quite a safe
Mm.
place. You're not going to be going out a huge amount of times, I guess. I don't know. Are you? Are you going to go backwards and forwards, or are you going to try and keep staying like as much as you can?
I think we need to lie low. Plus, you guys need to recuperate.
Mm.
Yeah, there is that point as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
a
all
bit
good.
more rest wouldn't go amiss.
Okay, that's excellent news. Okay, so let's sort out the first thing I want to sort out then is Stanton and Lex. When are you going to go? When are you going to go to your house then? Because it's Saturday afternoon. It's starting to get dark. Yeah.
Getting on. I suppose it's not too far to go to Stanton's apartment.
No, it's not very far at all. It's right around the corner, isn't it? Pretty much.
So we could do it now and get it done, and then it's the way. And then Lex, maybe yours tomorrow.
No, let's just do both and then get that done, and then we can just stay in the hotel from then on.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you head to Stanton's apartment first. So I presume are you all four of you doing this, or what's happening?
We might as well stay together.
I
Haven't we?
suppose
We know
we
they're
stay
after us.
together.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
When we get into the street, got 4 sets of eyes to have a look around.
Yeah.
We could even have 2 and 2 approaching from either end.
Okay. So you head off towards the Stanton's apartment in a group of 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And once you head into the apartment block. Once you're actually outside the door, you obviously, I presume you're all listening to make sure that there's no, in your heightened sense of paranoia or good sense, you can't hear anything. There's nothing on the door, which is a good start.
Good. I
You
don't
gonna go
really
in?
want to upset my neighbours.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, very gingerly, pistol drawn.
Yep. Okay, well, you're pleased, as you go inside, you're pleased to find that there's nothing is amiss whatsoever. Everything is exactly as you've left it. There is no nasty calling cards, no painted doors or broken windows or anything. It's exactly how you left it.
Nothing out of place, because I'm quite particular.
Nothing out of place. Nobody has been in here. Your OCD tells you that it's exactly as you left it. Okay, which is good news.
Excellent. Right.
You can retrieve all of the items that you would like to retrieve.
Yeah, so really just clothes, any other little bits and pieces that would be useful for adventuring.
Adventuring. Yeah,
through the jungle that is New York City.
You've hit the nail on the head with that, Adam. Really, haven't you? That's funny. Okay, and then you're going to accompany Lex on the slightly longer trip down to a Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, I'm not actually taking my travel trunk.
Are you taking your 10-foot pole?
It's not quite that. Not quite that bad.
Henchman.
I'm just wondering about my typewriter.
Okay, Lex, you approach your walk-up apartment, and you follow the same routine. And again, you have a telegram from Carlton Ramsey, and that's all you got.
Okay.
There's nothing else, nothing untoward in the property at all. Nothing on the outside. Nothing. So you seem to be threatless, and nobody has disturbed your property either. So it's all good news from that respect.
Mm.
Okay, you retrieve your items and then head back to the hotel. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, so you get back to the Morningside Hotel at about 6:30 on Saturday evening. Just order some room service, I guess.
Yep.
As far as the meals and stuff go, you're going to be trying to stay in your rooms as much as possible, getting room service rather than going and eating in the dining room.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. Right, okay, so taking all those other things into consideration then, I'm happy with all those things. Are we happy to move forward to Thursday?
Yes. I look forward to Thursday and the next session very much.
Okay.
Indeed.
A little bit of housekeeping to do before Thursday. Can we just do this now? Okay, because you're all going to be resting for effectively a week, pretty much. So Lex, can I get you to make a Constitution roll, please?
I failed. I've rolled
dear.
over my Constitution.
Okay. Unfortunately, then, that being the case, you don't get any better from a physical perspective. The wound that you took from the knife is really having its effect on you, and it's holding your recovery back, I'm afraid.
The tip is working its way towards your heart.
Yeah. Okay. What about Stanton? Can you make a Constitution roll, please?
Okay. Success.
Okay.
A hard success.
A hard success. Okay. It's just the same though. Okay. Okay. You heal to the tune of 2 hit points.
Oh, good.
The week's rest has done you well. Douglas,
Hello.
Constitution roll, please.
90. That's a fail.
Okay. Unfortunately, the insipid magic that's infested your being is not easily outed. You still remain cadaverous and crazy looking.
How do you lose a major wound?
You have to get above half of your hit points.
Okay.
Oh,
So
Fine.
you've lost your major wound, Stanton.
yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. There's a couple of newspaper articles that get published during the week, which are of interest to you. Do you want me to post those now, or do you want me to wait till next week to do those?
Do you want to post them now? We can always have a read of them. I want to
Can
have
have a read through, yeah.
Mhm.
Can't hurt.
Okay, let me just do that now. Hold
Can you leave it so that Jackson's notes are visible as well as the article between now and next week?
on. Yeah. Do you want me to Can you can log on at any time?
Yeah.
to see them?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can.
they're in the chat as well though. You could actually download the image.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
It's just
there it
we
is.
can't. I
Scroll
don't
up.
think we can manipulate the stuff on the Roll20 desktop.
No, you
can
can't.
we?
Yeah. So,
Oh,
but
yeah.
yeah, they are in the chat. And I
Yeah.
forgot that I put them in the chat.
Okay.
From the investigator's notes for
Yeah. Okay.
5th of July.
Hold on a sec. Let me just post these two. Bear with me a second. So the first article of interest comes out on the 24th, which is Monday, in the investigators' notes chat, followed
Yep.
by the second one. Can you read them? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
fine.
just click on them. It's fine.
Yes.
If you click on open in browser as well, it should be
Yeah.
you can open, but
Yeah.
it doesn't look quite as neat then. You don't necessarily have to read them all now, if
Yeah.
everybody needs to
Fine.
jump off. But
Yeah, I'll read those.
I think that's everything. Hold on. Oh yeah, the last thing is. Did you keep the artifacts with you? Yes, you did.
Yeah.
They're all in your. Okay. The article I've just shown you. Looked at the letter from Professor Cowles. Oh, yeah, and you've done all the collecting your stuff. Yeah, that's it. Okay, all good.
I suppose the only other thing that Stanton could do is try to find locations of occult libraries.
Okay, so you're going to do a bit more. The only thing about that, you can do that, but that means you're going to be out and about a bit more.
Yes.
Or quite a lot more, in fact. So I'm happy for you to do that if that's what you want, but that's the trade-off.
You're not so sure now.
What do you think?
Don't do it, Stanton.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
You've got a huge occult book to read.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a hat to try on.
Yeah.
While holding a scepter and
Yeah.
wearing a headband.
Drinking from a
that's all
bowl.
Yeah, because the headband will take me from the hat.
That is
Super.
what you-
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you could look at the book, Stanton, if you really wanted to.
And you can wear that lion's claw thing because then it'll feel like someone else is doing it.
Yeah, joking aside, though, that's a good point, actually. Is anybody going to look at the Africa's Dark Sex book? Because you've got quite a few days to do that.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to.
Okay. So you're going to spend most of your days perusing the accursed tome that almost sent Jacob mad. Yeah?
Yeah.
We'll have a quick look at
You
it.
put it like that.
Maybe in little bite-sized chunks.
Okay.
With one eye
That is-
closed.
Get the
Stanton,
Brody's notes
this is
working.
literally what you're here for, Stanton.
I know.
Yeah. Little bite-sized chunks. What you mean? You're only going to drink half the poison, not all of it. Righty-ho. Good place to stop then.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for joining us. Please do tune in next week where we'll be heading to the Carlisle estate and more questions to be answered. In the meantime, why not take a look at steadyrollingmen.com for some interesting background on the investigators. Bye bye.